Guys, we're joined by AJ, the icon, the legend. Got a new hair.
Yeah, it looks like your hair has grown back.
That's what I was gonna say.
Just a little bit. I was actually thinking about it today. Like on the video, my hair was like completely bald, but this is the longest my hair's ever been.
Wow.
Have you had a haircut since? Is this just pure fresh hair?
This is 3 years of growth. It took me a long time. Thank you, Tati Beauty, for the hair gummies.
Oh, how have you been since the season ended?
I've been good. It's been a while. It's been a long while.
Like what, 3 years?
Something like that. A whole like global pandemic, maybe.
Yeah, it's a bit.
Yeah. Are you still in Michigan?
Sadly. Yeah, bouncing around here and there. I'm currently in between my parents' house and my partner's house. And eventually I'm just going to say fuck it to both of them and move to Chicago. So
Oh, okay.
very, very influx, a very flux 3 years for me.
Yeah.
Feel that? Yeah. I feel like that's a classic Survivor Michigan path. I guess Mirror City Michigan path to go to Chicago. It's like choose your adventure. It's like New York, Chicago, or West Coast.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of us in Chicago.
There really is. There's like a whole group chat and everything.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta get me out of there.
Survivor Chicago tribe.
Yeah.
Who wins in a season of Survivor? Michigan versus Chicago versus New York versus West Coast.
I was like,
I feel like the Chicago people just like have the better probability of winning because there's so many of us there.
yeah, Chicago has like Dale, Maggie, Nick, Bailey. There's a lot. But New York has like Cooper.
Yeah, New York has like power, like big power strategic players.
Aaron, Paddock, and
But West Coast has us three, Bree, Akshay, Camila.
Is Camila on the West Coast now?
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Oh,
yeah, she's in Cali.
Definitely the beauty tribe.
I think all the places are stacked, honestly.
You really can't go wrong. So what's it been like watching All Stars come out?
Awful.
Really? Why?
I mean, it's been fine.
Yeah.
I will forever be grateful for the time and adventure that like Survivor Michigan has put me through, the good and the bad. I can definitely say that rewatching the experience definitely has been a majority of the bad, but you know, it's always like cringy just to like see yourself like from like such a long time ago and like not even like, especially because I feel like I've like done like a complete 180 and a complete change. Like I could still see the heterosexual in me back then, and now I kind of like struggle to find it. But it's just been like interesting because you kind of have to like sit and laugh at how silly you were, but then you don't want other people to be like, that's a little cringe there, cringe there, Adam. So like just coming to terms with like that and everything, you know, especially because like I'm like a very emotional and sentimental and, you know, some would say dramatic person. So of course I feel like everything's like the end of the world at the end of the day. But you know, you live and let learn. You grow. You become like a better person, a fully realized adult, I guess, after 20. So.
Which honestly, when you're playing the game, like it does feel like the end of the world when things are happening. Because you're just
really
like
It really is your
it's
whole
like all
life,
you think about.
Yeah.
So I do not blame you.
Very different mindset where it is like the most important thing in the world for however many days, you know.
Oh yeah. Much to the dismay of everyone around you in most cases.
Yeah.
All the roommates, all the friends, they're all looped in.
Oh my God. It was like a hot button topic for me and my partner at the time. Like that relationship was already on rocky ground, but like Survivor really like knocked that shit out. Like
what did you think about it? Like about Survivor. Like how was it a hot topic? Was it like waste so much time on this? Like, why are you putting so much? Like, what was the?
It was the constant like insecurity and anxiety that it brought me. So that was like a very hot button topic of how much Survivor impacted me just throughout my like daily life, I guess. Which it did. It did. But like, you know, y'all said it kind of like just consumes you, and it kind of just like it blows up into such like a big, like a way bigger thing that you originally think it's gonna be. So you try to prepare everyone in your life, like, hey, I'm doing this thing, like, you know, what's going on? But then it kind of just like spirals out of control the longer you get into it. And especially me at the time being 20 and still kind of like being new to like the UMich campus. Like I was only my 3rd semester there. And even then, like my 1st semester, I really didn't like go out or like meet people or have like many like friends on campus. So like that being like my first like real semester at UMich, it was like definitely a lot to, you know, readjust to. And I was like trying to start a second major at the same time, and it was just like it was bad timing all around for everyone involved, within my life at least.
What were your majors again? Like, what are you doing right now?
Right now, honestly, low key, I've just kind of been working the retail game. I'm doing a little merchandising, you know, which has like its own like insecurities that I'm battling with, but like at the same time, I'm kind of just like, that's like the best part about it is I've kind of just like learning to live with myself. It's been a very like, instead of career focus for me, I've kind of just been focusing on like who I want to be and who I want to become and like who I really am.
Love that.
So like, I don't know. I feel like I really started like, especially after graduating, I was kind of like, oh shit, I like don't really have anything lined up in like the field that I want to do. But like, I feel just living through it, you kind of just, you become more appreciative of like everything else around you.
And like, honestly, that's what your 20s are for, is like for discovering who you are and experimenting.
I'm here to fuck up in my 20s so I can in my 30s. That's my goal.
Yeah, perfect. Now I was gonna say I feel like I really relate with what you were saying at the beginning of cringing a lot, because I'm like, this version of ourselves that's on YouTube is like whatever this 3-year-old 3.5 years ago version of myself, and like, but this is a version that's like kind of like immortalized in the internet. And, like, people are going to see, it's like it's kind of like locked in time. Like, okay, like that's what Sam was like back then. That's what AJ is. Like, okay,
I can always refer back
at that time, but like it feels like very distant now, you know?
Oh yeah. That is the concept that thousands of people have now in their mind of Sam and AJ, you know, and Jack and Sarah.
Boys.
The espresso boys.
Yeah.
It's not espresso. I've
Oh my god. People were roasting you for that. Sam actually thought it was espresso till like yesterday.
That's everything to me.
Really only up until this was airing. And I was like looking back at pictures of espresso royale because I thought, I was like, no, it's espresso royale, right? Like, you know, it's not.
Oh no.
I don't know.
It's the Mandela.
Okay.
I wish you never tell me. For all that, you've heard me say espresso boys. So many espresso boys. So many times.
I'll be honest, Sam. I probably just wasn't paying attention well enough. I was like, you know what? Sam's just gonna keep talking. I'm gonna listen.
Fair enough.
Oh, yeah. So I guess jumping into the game, like coming into All Stars, what was your strategy, and like, did it immediately go out the door, or do you think you like followed through pretty well? Like, how did that go?
No, I feel like I followed through like really well. I don't know if it's on camera. I'm pretty sure I said it in my interview to Brady. But my strategy coming in was to kind of like find this big charismatic player and sort of become like have them become like my mentor or something, or somewhere where they could feel like they were kind of like fathering me in the game and like teaching me and like, oh, this is my like young Padawan and I'm going to take him through the game. And I, you know, that was kind of like my goal coming in. I didn't think it would be Sam. I kind of thought it would be Dylan again, because it was Dylan in 4.5. Which I didn't really do it intentionally in 4.5. It was just kind of like the people around me. But I thought it was going to be Dylan. And then, you know, Sam, you decided to send that text and then everything changed. And then we had an emotional moment. And I love me an emotional moment.
I know.
That's what sold you, was the emotional moment? That's what sold you on Sam? Oh.
No. I think what sold me on Sam was his just his want to play the game, because I really wanted to be there, and I really just wanted someone to like respect my presence, you know, within the game. And Sam like gave that to me, especially like in that moment where I thought I was like, oh God, I'm gonna be the first boot. Yeah, so I don't know. And like Sam was always someone who was already someone who like I like knew of, but like wanted to know more. And this is kind of like just a peek into how my mind works. After we had that meeting, Sam, I would think back to when I got voted out of season 4 and how you were the one to collect my money. And I was like, this is such a weird continuation of that storyline in my head. So yeah, no.
Sam just collecting the money.
Mm-hmm.
True. Treasurer. Season 4 treasurer.
King treasurer.
Yeah. So
But
everybody for their money, except for Aaron Murphy. I don't think we made first boots pay. Give your money back.
Mm-hmm.
It's the thing. I feel like in that conversation, like it wasn't like the emotions was the point of the conversation as much as it was a byproduct of just we were both talking about how much we cared about the game, and both of us came into that like feeling like, oh, like I could be going home and like I would be devastated if that happened. Like I feel like I was just like, all right, like I just related with you and Tana in that meeting because we were all right, like Adam cares about this just as much as I do. Like we both cared so much. And remember, even later in the game too, you and Cooper had a conversation where you said like a very similar thing, or he said something to you like, I can tell how much you care about this game. Like me and you are alike. We both care about this game so much. I think it was the week that we voted off Emily. I thought that was it was really interesting. I was like a point of like kind of relating and for different people.
Yeah. And I think both of us really went into that meeting with a feeling that, oh fuck, like is my game like completely over now? And
definitely,
what can I do within this meeting to make sure it's not, you know, me at the end of this vote? And I think just us coming together was just, I don't think either of us expected the long-term like products of that meeting.
Yeah.
But we just kept needing each other week after week, it felt like. So
and I remember we met up a second time that exact same week, also at Espresso Royale, and at the end of the week, and we were like, all right, like I think we got all the votes on the Akshay, like this is sick. We're like, we're both gonna make it out of this. Like this is crazy. This is sick.
Oh yeah. A lot of celebratory meetings at Espresso Royale, and a lot of crying too.
We met there. Yeah, a lot of tears have been shed at Espresso Royale.
I don't remember when exactly did you become the Espresso Boys? Was it like the first meeting, the second meeting? How many meetings did it take for you to like realize that you were the Espresso Boys?
It had to have been like maybe the third or fourth meeting. Like definitely like beginning of week 3, end of week 3-ish. That's when it was like a name thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think that at that time we were like, oh, we need to have names for like all the alliances, and I think we'd met there. I think we noticed that we had met there already like 2 or 3 times. We're like, oh, we just gotta just keep meeting at Espresso Royale, I guess.
I was laughing at you meeting with the ghost of AJ. Just the zoom in on the chair.
That was so sad. I don't know if any of you have seen Yellow Jackets, but Austin Schrupp had like a comment somewhere that was like, wow, like I'm really getting like Yellow Jackets season 2 vibes off of this right here.
Is that the plane crash one with the soccer?
Yeah,
team?
if you watch the show, then you'll see. But
it's on my list.
I was very sad.
Me too.
It's on the list. It's worth watching for sure.
So AJ, with your mentor strategy, did you plan on going to the end with whoever your mentor ended up being, or did you have plans to like cut them before?
I like wasn't thinking that far, I'll be honest. Like I probably went into it with like the intention of cutting them because I love just being like, ooh, I'm gonna be a little sneaky snake and I'm just gonna cut all my best friends and like I'm just gonna be like the villain of the season, you know. So probably I did want to cut, you know, whoever it was, which whether I would cut Sam or not, we can get into in a little bit, but yeah.
Actually, yeah, I do want to get into that if y'all are good with that.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people were curious why you didn't turn on him a couple times. And
it just never
yeah.
felt like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say like it's easier said than done because like when you're like hanging out with these people 24/7, like it really does become like really sad to cut closest allies.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like for me, it was always like, oh, well, I'll get Sam out the next vote. But then the next vote would come and then it'd be like, oh shit, like I can't get out Sam. And in fact, I greatly need Sam in order to stay this week.
Yeah.
Honestly, if at any point someone came to me with like the substantial amount of numbers needed and was just like, we're all here, we just need you to be like the flip vote, then I would have probably like done it, honestly, except for probably that last week. Like I knew Sam was gonna have to go, but I think the last week I was in the game, it was like I like have to like keep Sam until at least like 4 or 5, because that's like when we need to have like our big emotional like battle at the end where we're gonna see, you know, who's gonna win the endurance comp, which I think I would have won hands down.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't see you stepping off from an endurance comp.
Wait, let's think about this. The cube. Who would have won the cube spinning?
Keep spinning.
Because that's different from the lamppost one.
The lamppost, I'm bad with legs. Anything with legs, awful. But like the cube, I have a lot of resilience within me. I'd probably put some headphones in, probably just zone out, chill.
Yep.
Were we allowed to wear headphones?
I don't know. I'd sing to myself.
Yeah.
At that point, it's all bets off, you know?
Right.
There's only 3 other people going to the jury. Like, I'm going to annoy the shit out of everyone just to, like, win, I guess, at that point.
Would you wear a diaper?
I would wear a diaper. I don't know if I'd use it, but I do it definitely for, like, the bit.
Just
you got to do it for the bit.
Yeah. You got to do it for the bit.
Now, on the kind of the flip side of, like, the same question on, like, you know, why didn't you turn on me? I feel like in one of the things that had been like a theme repeated throughout the game, which I personally throughout the game didn't agree with this view of the game, was that like, oh, like Adam needs to turn on Sam because Adam is in Sam's shadow. But the way that, you know, like Sam will get the credit for all the moves that this duo was making. Whereas like the way that I saw it was like, I think that I kind of view the same way, as like I was like kind of planning in my head, like, okay, around final 4 or 5, like I'm going to have to try and get Adam out because we've made a lot of the same moves, except for you were the one that flipped the vote, the merge. You were the one that found the idol and gave it to Lucy. Like you were the one that basically saved me at the Dylan vote. Like you're the one that came in with less connections than I did. So in my mind, I was like, well, I don't see how sitting at final tribal that I would be able to beat Adam, because, you know, that was exactly what I was like imagining your pitch was going to be. So like, what I don't understand is, I guess I'm curious, like, what are on your thoughts on that? And like, I don't know, like, do you think that, like, would that have been your pitch at the end? And like, you know, I don't know. That's just the way that I saw it. And I just don't understand why that wasn't the way that like other people in the game were seeing it. Unless I always assumed they were saying that because they were just trying to like split our pair up, trying to say whatever was needed to be said to get us to turn against each other. But it's kind of like the two different, like the one argument of like, oh, like Adam needs to turn on Sam. But the other argument of like, well, why is that needed? Why is that necessary? Like, hasn't Adam played a good enough game that Adam can win without doing that? Like, that's what I didn't really get.
I mean, I didn't get it at the time either. I feel like it really reads through a lot of like my confessionals, or at least me talking with a lot of people, is I was just genuinely like frustrated the entire time. Like, especially from like the week that Dylan got voted out kind of onward. Yeah. I was just kind of like, everyone just sees me as Sam's puppet. And I get it, because like, if I was on the outside looking in, I would definitely like also be like, oh, I definitely don't see like Adam actually making any of these moves. Like, it has to be Sam. And that's just kind of like when people started bringing that up to me, it kind of just confirmed to me that the biases that we had like coming into the game of like how we perceived each other were not going to change, like regardless. Yeah. And I think that like kind of just solidifies as the game goes on, is no one ever really like no one's perception of anyone kind of like changes like ever, you know, regardless to the very real facts of everything like going on.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Kevin is a villain and Kevin has all these people like around him, and now this is like an integral like storyline throughout the rest of the season. Things just like, as soon as something was said in the game, it became fact, and it was very hard to change that fact regardless of like what information was brought to anyone else. But no, I was very frustrated. And I knew I would have to take you out, and that kind of like pissed me off because I didn't really want to at the end anymore.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
It created a weird dynamic where we both felt like we had to take each other out, like for different reasons, you know. But then neither of us wanted to either.
Yeah. And you kept saying this one thing to me, and I'll never forget this, is like, as long as we both believe that we can beat each other at the end, we're good. I was like, well, I do believe that I can beat you, Sam.
Yeah.
And I was like constantly like depending on like, ooh, does Sam actually think they can beat me? Which I always thought you could too. I felt like in my head, I have a game that could beat you, but in the jury's head, I think they would have chose you like no matter what.
It's hard to say, but I definitely went back and forth in my head too, where I could have seen it going either way. I mean, it's hard to say what happens because also you don't know what happens, whatever. If we would have made it there, what happens in the other rounds. But I don't know. I think that is important for an alliance, though, is for like everybody to think that they can win in whatever final three is proposed. That way, people are like going to be loyal to it, and it only works if everyone thinks that, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's impossible also to guess what the jury's going to do. Like you just don't know.
Yeah, that jury was very hard to read. Very hard to read.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you have people like that are saying like I'm going to be a bitter juror, you know, like Bailey, you know.
Oh my god,
it's just it's like so hard to see in like an all-star season where people's heads are going to be at. Like if they're going to just want to vote for their friends no matter what, if they're going to want to, you know, have somebody who they think is most strategic, if they're going to be still mad about things that happen in the game. Like I feel like people just take all-star seasons like even more seriously and personally. So it's like really hard to predict.
Yeah, it almost becomes a game of like, all right, who has pissed people off the least?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like what you said about the first impressions thing is so true, though. Something I've noticed just from like watching Survivor and College Survivor in general, like the first impression you give off on like that first week really stays with you. I'm trying to think if there's like anyone where it like changed later on. I feel like for the most part, like the effort you put into your first week and the vibe you give off sticks with you. It's actually wild. So anyone out there is about to start a season of College Survivor, the first week is honestly the most important, in my opinion.
First
Like,
day.
No, it genuinely is.
You
It
have to
definitely
put
is.
so much effort in that first week to like build your reputation.
It's true.
Multiple
but then you think
meetings
about
with
Mallory,
multiple people.
who came in not knowing what tribal council is.
I was going to say Mallory.
Mallory, yeah. But her impression, I would say though that I don't think people's impression of her really changed though. Like she still was the person who didn't know much about Survivor, but I don't know.
I would almost say maybe my perception of Dale kind of changed. Like at first I thought he was just kind of like a dumb, goofy guy. And then like, even like when I first got on the jury and like, I thought Jackson was running the show, and it didn't take, I think, a few like people coming on the jury and telling me everything to be like, oh, actually Dale's pretty smart.
That's interesting. Well, that's the thing too, is like hiding, like a part of it is like you want to put off a certain perception, but then at a certain point you might want to like change it. Like, it's kind of like how Emily talked about, like, okay, I want to be under the radar for a certain point, but now I need to make a move to like change it so that people don't think that I'm like not doing anything. You know, it's like at a certain point you have to try to change that perception, and it's like, how do you do that? You know, and is that perception even fair in the first place?
And it's even harder your second time around because Emily B was also a little under the radar her first season. And so coming into the second season, also starting under the radar, like that makes it even harder to change that perception towards the end of a second season. I'm trying to think how you would even like change that. That's hard.
You kind of like have to like go big or go home to change
exactly.
it at that point, you know, and it has to be a spectacle. Like you can't like do some secret shadowy shit anymore. And the longer the game goes on, it's kind of like the better it has to be.
Like it or not, we're in the Survivor big moves era. You know, you gotta make those big moves.
I know.
For the jury to like you. I don't know.
Yeah.
On their note of the big moves, one of the Discord questions asked,
not Discord questions.
Get
Get me off of that accursed site.
Yes.
Is there an outline? Is there an outline?
Yeah, there is. There is.
Okay.
You go into the drive. It says, if Emily B told them about the plan, would they have tried to make a move with her at final 9?
The
classic where Emily B was like, "Oh, I have a plan, but I'm not going to tell you."
Yeah.
See, if she told me she would have had an idol and that she was going to use it on me at 7, I would have believed her. I definitely 100% would have been like, yeah, let's do this. Let's go for it. I would have because that week, the original plan was Andrew, and I did want Andrew out that week. So I was fine, holding it off one more week and then, maybe trying to push a play at 8 instead of directly at 7 with her idol. But no, I get very mixed feelings about it because I'm like, I would have totally believed her if she did it, but that idol was fake and I would have gone home at 7. I feel like just no matter what, I'm just destined to get 7th.
Yeah.
The amount of times I ran through it is kind of like that one, that one point where all I had to do was vote Leia and I could have stayed. All I had to do was vote Leia, and that was the only way I could have made it past 7 in any universe. I'm convinced of 100%.
It was a fixed point in time, I
thought about one of the what ifs, and I guess the other biggest one I could think of is the challenge. You were so close to winning superlatives.
See, and I was waiting for that challenge too. I love that challenge. I love finding out what people think about me.
Yeah.
I love people just telling, regardless of whether it's good or bad. And I got a lot of bad ones, but I also guessed a lot of the bad ones myself. So I don't know why people didn't think I was self-aware. But yeah, no, I was so sad I lost that, especially because, after the extra question when they announced Cooper won, there was 2 questions left, and Cooper got 1 wrong and 1 right, and I got both of them right, and I still lost by 1. So I was just it was just such a missed opportunity.
Well, that challenge is basically an insight into who has the best grasp on what people are thinking. Honestly, you doing well in that challenge shows that you did kind of know how people perceived each person, which is a really good skill to have.
People hated me. I was all the bad ones are definitely going to be me.
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, but that's just kind of that was just the vibe when I was 20.
Yeah.
Well, AJ, tell me about what you just mentioned on the only way that I could have survived that tribal was if I voted for Leia. What in the episode, it seemed like you're very, very torn between, do I vote for Leia or do I not? How close did you get to voting for Leia, and what do you think about that?
So that night, that vote, as soon as Brady told me to go, write who I was going to vote out, I had a voice in my head say you're going to vote for Leia. And I had to physically shake that out of my head and be like, no, Leia saved me. It made no sense. It makes no sense for Leia to save me the week prior and then for her to try and get me out or be a part of the vote to vote me out this week. So I walked up there and I was like, I'm gonna write Bailey's name down because we had that meeting of 4 right before tribal, literally right before, and I felt very confident. Bree did the best acting in that meeting. I had no clue that, and the piss, the 30-minute long piss that I took right before the tribal, just I felt really good about the Bailey plan. I missed out on the last minute action. And it was a very series of unfortunate events.
Yeah, I mean, you got yourself onto Leia's list, and that, I mean, you definitely were correct in your read of Leia, of that, she was fully on your side. She wasn't gonna vote you out. I don't, to this day, I don't fully understand why Bree did what she did, but
I mean, I get it.
I
I
get
get
it.
it. I don't
do it.
know. Especially after 7, Bree and I did not have like a good game relationship, and I just refused to recognize that. I was very like, all right, I'm gonna I'm gonna go and just like beg for her to like love me again and be like, I hope we're like still friends after this. Because at that point, the game was getting like immensely personal, especially to me.
Oh, yeah.
You know, coming in as like an outsider to this group of like close knit friends, it was kind of like I don't know like the reads or the tells as much as like these people do of each other. And on top of that, I don't know if like their relationship with me is going to only like rest on like what I do in this game. So I need to like repair these relationships because, you know, as much as I love this game and as much as I want to win, I also like want to actually see these people after the game ends, you know. And I, you know, this was like the first like club activity, like community that I joined at UMich.
Yeah.
Like I've already put like fucking 107 days or whatever the fuck at that point, like into it. That's like a lot of wasted time if I don't like commit at that point.
Yeah. Actually, who were you closest to coming into the game, if anyone?
So I think I was like, it's hard to say because I knew Dylan and Aaron just from 4.5. Anyone who played 4.5, I was inherently like a little bit like closer to.
Okay.
But I wanted to keep my game like as wide open as possible. And I was very much focused on like, don't assume you have any like things, any cards in your hand. Don't assume you have any pieces in your deck or like on the board. Just play with the game in front of you. Like I had a lot of game metaphors that did not go in this season. And that's the bone of pick I have with Ian this season. All of my metaphors, none of them to be seen.
What? Jeff loves metaphors.
No, I know. I'd be like, Jeff would be eating this up right now.
You would get on the show because of your metaphors.
Yeah.
I made a Mario Kart reference. I had constant board game references. I was like, this is 52 pickup. And all you're doing is you're just picking up random cards as you go along. And you got to play them at will. I was like, oh, my God.
You and Tom.
I think it went above Ian's head. He only gets
didn't get
video
it.
game references and stuff. Yeah. Anime and stuff, yeah.
Should have made an Attack on Titans reference.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, true.
That's funny. Somebody wanted to know if there were any other songs you danced to in a confessional that we didn't see.
Oh, when we were doing the like song like relation to the players in the Discord like a month or two ago, I like made a playlist of all of my songs from that time. And I think one of the other songs I listened to was the Billie Eilish song. What is it called?
I'm the bad guy.
No, the one before that, from her album prior to that. When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? I like jammed out to that a lot. A lot of like, honestly, and this is like very cringe of me, it was a lot of epic rap battles of history. I was like, I was in such like a revisiting of like my middle school era in my like sophomore year of college for some reason. No, but it was fun. Or I guess that was my junior year. Damn. Oof.
The Survivor mashup of all Survivor theme songs from Day 39. That's a good one.
That was so funny. I don't even think that was cringe. I was laughing.
The girls were living. I don't know why. I look back at that and I was like, those aren't the moves. That's not the beat. But you know, if the audience loved something I did, I'll take it.
Well, yeah. Another thing the audience loved was how you figured out how to decipher the clue with nail polish remover.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a really fun night. A long ass night, but fun.
You and Nick.
Yeah, the lines that never went.
Yeah.
It should have been.
Well, I'm curious. So at that tribal council, did you want Nick to go, or did you prefer Sarah?
I think I wanted Nick to go.
I think you voted for Nick, yeah.
Yeah, because at that point, I wanted to work with Sarah, and I was like, if I'm going to flip, it's gonna be with Sarah. And that week prior, and I don't know if this was touched into the episode, but Nick and Sarah were trying to get me specifically to push Leia and vote Leia off. And Nick was very like adamant about that fact. And I think that's the reason why I didn't end up working with him, is because he came to me with this, like, I am not going to help you with this, but if you get enough people to vote Leia, I'll vote Leia. And I was like, that sounds a lot like someone with a lot of influence trying to make me do their dirty work for them. And I don't like that. So, move on.
Yeah. And Nick and Leia were never really on the same turn. They were just never on the same side.
Never on the same list.
Never on the same list.
It's true. What about the Crybabies? That was a great alliance throughout all the way up to the
Who
final.
was that again?
That
Who was
was
Crybabies?
the Crybabies.
It was me and Megan.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mhm.
Yeah, we like bonded over like a lot of our our anxieties and shit. And so we like called ourselves the Crybabies. That was such a tumultuous relationship. And I had like every week going in with the best intentions to like
Mhm.
work with Megan and like be on the same side as Megan, but then like something would happen, or like we would just be on opposite sides, or like I would do something to actively like make Megan not trust me. All fair to her. It never really worked out. Never really worked out. But I love Megan. She's like, I don't know. She was definitely like going into Pawnee, the one I trusted the most, just out of default, but also because I feel like we kind of came in at the same space. We were both season 4 players. We didn't really know many people. We were both really anxious. And we both knew like what we were getting into. We knew that this is going to be an extremely like hard game for us to get to the end, especially as season 4. And like this like narrative that season 4 had built up going into All Stars was very much like on our minds the entire time, trying to like prove that like season 4 can do this, because we knew at the end that if we went up there and there was still like all this season 4 disrespect, then no one was going to vote for season 4 anyway. We were just trying to like booster that up as much as we can. And I didn't know about the Jackson relationship either until like halfway through the game, although it was hinted at to me a few months prior.
Hinted at.
Yeah, I feel like Megan had a tumultuous relationship with a lot of people in this game.
She had a tumultuous time in this game.
Not for me. We were kind of smooth sailing. But... yeah, she really did. What? How did you feel when you started getting texts from like Jackson about like, oh, could you show me that necklace that's up in your room? Like, is that still there?
I like panicked. I don't know what was going through my mind. I really thought I could pull off like a stock image. As when you're that close to the vote and you're like, you're like on the precipice of like something just so incredibly like fucking amazing. Like if that vote went out and Cooper went home right before, well, I guess 2 votes before merge, like shit would have been fucked.
Changed everything. Yeah.
Jaws would have dropped. People would have cried. People were crying, but people would have dropped. Like, so like being like on like the edge of my seat and like almost pulling that off, I was kind of just like, once you fumble the ball, if you're like in such like a tight knit moment, you're gonna choke, I feel. And I just like choked, and I was just like, here's a stock image, and there's like 20 other stories that I could have come up with on the spot that would have worked better.
Stock image.
I mean, it is also kind of just like unlucky that Megan remembered the exact same necklace, like from like seeing it in your room. Like I feel like that's a very like specific detail to remember. Like not only to point it out, but to remember that like it was the same one.
Yeah. That was that morning. And I did not remember about that moment until she called me asking to see it. And I was like, oh shit. That's one of those moments. That's a little foreshadowing moment. The universe likes to play cruel tricks on me like that. Just like adding little foreshadowing moments in my day that like show up in my downfall later.
Yeah. Man. I was gonna say another underrated relationship was like you and Kevin and how you like bonded over the bears and the flies and Operation Cyber Nation and all that.
I love Kevin. That man is always, we played an org, I think the summer after All Stars, and we were like pretty close during that org. And he plays the same game every single time, I feel, and it's just so entertaining to watch because it works sometimes, and when it works, it's just gold.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Love Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking Kevin.
Freaking Kevin.
Villain.
Yeah,
Dylan?
that was like a relationship that I was kind of like, oh, like where'd that go? Because we kind of worked together for 1 week, and then all of a sudden we were going after each other. And I remember we met each other, and I think in like Tisch Hall, and we had this conversation. He's like, I can't believe I'm getting screwed over for your fuck up that you invited me on, and it's gonna be like it's either like your side goes or like my side goes, and one of us are gonna go along with it.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of a heartbreaking meeting for me, and I just kind of like stood there and was like, yeah, I got nothing for you. Like I can't do any. I agree with your stance in the game, Kevin, but like it's working for me right now, so like I need to continue with it because otherwise I'll be going out this week.
Yeah. That was tough. That the fact that Cooper didn't end up going out was like I felt like we were all scrambling, like, oh shit, like now what do we do? To like, who's gonna take the fall for this?
Oh yeah, I thought my game was over, especially because I knew it was probably gonna be me before it would be you. So I was petrified, and I think that's really what like kicked my ass into gear that week. Was how prevalent the friendships had been in the game up to that point just kind of like confirmed what I was thinking at the time. So it was nice to be right, but it also was like kind of like devastating to just see people like have like these big threats in the game and then want to take out like little old me. Like if you're gonna vote me out, at least like say I'm going to like win or something. Don't just vote me out because like you don't know me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who surprised you the most while you were playing during the season? Like maybe someone you didn't think you would work with, or other way around, who like surprised you?
Leia. I did not think Leia, like everyone said, Leia terrified me.
She's scary.
But like Leia was someone I like really respected just as a person. I feel like her and we really like share a lot of viewpoints about the world, which is such like the weirdest person to connect to for me, because I feel like we're also extreme opposites in like a majority of the ways that we exist within our lives. I don't know, just like Leia was kind of like this mythical figure, going in, because she never really like she was like never really a part of like production. She never really was like at like the like Survivor events like tribal and challenges. She kind of only was at the parties, and like I would be invited to the parties and then I would be like, oh, I'm gonna go, and then psych myself out and then never go. So I was like, I never got to have the Leia experience until All Stars. But yeah, no, she is someone who I was really surprised with how they like interacted with me, and then also like just surprised at how like well we like vibed. Like we had this, it was it might have been the meeting, or it might have been right after the Megan tribal, Sam, where it was you, me, and Leia, and we were like digging in the snow with like fucking snow shovels or whatever for like an hour and a half. And I don't know if you remember this, but like Leia went on this like huge crazy tangent when we were over by the stadium, and she's like, you gotta fucking hate Survivor. Survivor is literally the worst. It turns you into the scummiest human being, but you just love it. I just love it so much, and we just gotta keep playing and keep running on the wheel. And I was like, that's
kind of true though.
Exact like breakdown that I needed to know that Leia is just Leia gets it. Leia gets it.
Yeah. It's funny. I remember. I don't know if a lot of it made the cut, or if it did, it was only very small snippets. But yeah, like you, me, and Leia like did a lot of idol searching. Like I feel like there was hours and hours of us traversing campus for that like long ass like clue trail. Like I remember us going to the hospital that one time. Like
when we almost
hospital.
Yeah.
We were in the hospital at like what? It was like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And there was this door that said like, do not go past this door. It'd be like a legal infraction against the law to go past this door. And all three of us were like, what if they got a med student hiding behind this door? Because the idol said like you had to like ask to go in or something, or like it was like blocked somewhere.
Mhm.
Don't
We were
pour out
like-
the one.
Oh no, it was also the cutting room. So we were like, maybe it's
Yeah.
in like in one of the surgery labs. Like it was
Yeah,
like
Oh
cutting
my
people
God.
up.
It was like room 403. You know, it said right on the door. Whatever.
there was something else about it. That there was like a class that lined up with the numbers.
Well,
and
also
it
I
was,
think
like,
there's something about like pain, rain, and pain were like some of the words. Like,
Yes.
oh, pain, like it's like a hospital, whatever.
yeah.
I remember
Oh my
Leia
God.
screaming at the producers, like, I can't believe you guys would make us break the rules or break the law to find the idol. Like, that's so messed up of you guys. Like, I can't believe you would do something like that. And
We're
then
like,
they're
what?
just like, I don't know.
Wait, this is the idol that Cooper ended up getting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It was, well, this was specifically for a clue that led to another clue, led to another clue, led to the idol.
Right.
Mhm.
You know,
But this was like in the one that ended up in the MLB, right? Yeah.
Ugh, such a fun time.
Yeah,
That
then
was
we
a
went-
wild night.
It was. Well,
Yeah.
we had to like
That
also
night,
break in somehow. We had to like, we were like, I remember us standing outside, like kind of like waiting for someone to walk in, and like, or Leia was like, oh, we have this plan. Like, okay, one of you is gonna go to there, and we're gonna like say like, this is what we're gonna say to the people to like let us in. The other person is gonna go through like this other door, let the other people in. We're like, it's this elaborate scheme to get into this building that the idol definitely.
Oh my God.
some janitor let us in. We thought it was under a vending machine, and that was
Oh,
like
We're
this
convinced.
was like a 5-hour long idol hunting session too.
we did that.
like,
We
it
did
went
that
from-
multiple times.
Yeah, it went
Oh
from
my
like
God.
You broke the law
Ross
multiple
to
times.
the
Bree
medical
never wanted to
campus
come
was
with us.
bad.
Bree was always like, I'm not looking for that. Like, tell me if you find it. So the three of
Yeah.
us.
Queen.
Bree had
Bree's not about
priorities.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bree was watching BTS.
Mhm.
True.
As she should.
Yeah, she should.
What was your favorite memory from the whole season?
Honestly, the one I like the moment I think about like regularly over the past 3 years was right after the Megan tribal. Just me jumping up and down like with my superlatives board being going, I'm just happy to be here.
Aw.
Because like I just felt like that was like the anticipus of like what my time at in All Stars was like I was just happy to be there. And as serious as I took the game and like how emotional and how like negatively it kind of impacted me mentally, it was just like it was such an experience and such a ride. And like I love experiencing like the extreme like highs and like the extreme like emotional lows. Like that's like I don't know, that's just like life to me. That's like living. Like even back then before I kind of became like this pseudo spiritual pothead person like I just like experiencing like everything that like life could offer to me at that point, especially someone who really has like bad social anxiety, like having that opportunity to push myself and put myself out there and like experience such like a unique event with such a unique group of people that I'm still talking to this day. It's kind of just like you can't help but look back at that regardless of like the negative aspects and like think positively.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Well said, yeah.
Wanna hit more of these Discord questions, Jack?
God,
There's
you
like a
got
lot.
more?
There's a
Yeah.
lot.
I got a lot to ask you.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Give me the attention.
Yeah, so not related to the game, we're back to music. Somebody wants to know what your favorite album of 2022 is.
My favorite album of 2022.
Yeah.
Does it have to be an album released in 2022?
No, you
Is
know
that,
what?
like, the
No, it
premise
doesn't have
of
to.
the
be.
No,
question?
just like what was your jam in
exit interview.
2022?
Yeah.
All right. So I would say my album overall of 2022 would have to be Dreamland. I got into like Glass Animals like really hard at the beginning of 2022. And it was like in such like a depressing moment in my life because I was at that point I had lost my grandmother Darlene and I moved back home after living in Ann Arbor to like be with family. And I was just like very lost and like really trying to find myself. And I was like suffering from panic attacks again for the first time in a year. So that like it just really like found like its niche in my head, and it really like got me through it. But in terms of like albums that came out in 2022, I'm looking at my Spotify, sorry. I'm gonna have to say the new Florence album. The new Florence album, definitely.
What's it called?
Choreomania, right?
Okay.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I haven't
Cool.
listened to Florence. So I should listen to that. I saw
no.
Florence open for like Rolling Stones, I think, like 5 or 6
that would've
years
been a good
ago.
show.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was really cool.
You know, I've been very explorative with my music recently. It's been really nice time for me.
Love it.
What about Slut Pop? Does that make the top 5?
See, here's the thing. Slut Pop will always be in my top 5, but it just can't break. It can't break. Can't break the top 3.
It's not gonna
Maybe
make
like 4.
It's fair.
It's not gonna make the top 3, but it'll be like at least 4. You know,
like
we need to slut out sometimes.
Yeah. Love it.
Oh, Kim Petras.
I know.
Or wait, did Crash come out this year too? Crash came out this year.
Did it really? It's Crash.
Oh, that changes the game. It has to be Crash. It has to be Crash.
That's a goated album.
Mm-hmm.
Good pick.
We saw Charlie in Royal Oak was that last year?
Yeah. I
saw Charlie together?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow.
It was us and Will, his girlfriend, and a few other Survivor Michigan people, right?
Dang.
Right.
Goated group of people.
What a crew.
Yeah. That was great.
Wow.
Somebody else wants to know just more just cultural questions. How often do you watch Asia's drag race talent show performance?
Asia's Drag Race talent show performance. Fuck. Wait, did I say that somewhere?
I don't know. I don't know the reference. Maybe you must have said it in some confessional.
Asia's Drag Race talent show performance. I'm blanking on that right now. I must enjoy
like, what
it.
is that?
If they brought it up, I probably have tweeted about it.
Mm-hmm.
Asia's Drag Race. We're gonna Drag Race talent show.
Sounds like
I gotta remember this.
The frequency is not often.
Yeah, I guess so. No, I don't think. Oh, see, I did not tweet about Asia's talent show performance, but I did tweet about Pangina Heel's talent show performance, of which I still watch on an hourly basis.
So this person got it wrong.
They got it wrong. It's Pangina Heels, and I know I tweeted about that.
Yeah.
Nice. Which, side note on your tweets, love the drink of the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad. I didn't realize so many people like enjoyed them, and I kind of stopped engaging with the community after a while. So I just stopped with the drinks. Plus, like getting plastered on like a Wednesday night, not like a good thing to do, especially when you work at 3 a.m. the next morning.
It probably can't be a weekly occurrence.
Yeah, maybe I'll go back one day. I want to go back and like complete my engagement with the community with the episodes that I missed, because that I did feel bad about the thing.
You had to get a finale drink ready.
Yeah. Is there a KYTL drink?
Yeah.
Ooh, there's not we just have water today, but I should have done a KYTL drink. I love me a little mixologist lesson. So self-taught, self-preserved.
Yeah. How was the period between seasons 4 and 5 like for you? And how did that time translate to a way more effective and successful game?
Okay, so I think it translated to a successful game because 4.5, I think I impressed a lot of people. In fact, I think it wasn't confirmed to me, but it was heavily implied to me that I got on All Stars because of my 4.5 performance, as well as like my interview with Brady. And like just the connections I made, like I got closer with Cooper, found connections with Aaron. I was able to like discover the whole like season 3 web. So I was like aware of that. And like other season 4 people really weren't. So it was a very good like tactical thing for me to do in terms of my game. But I think the thing that kind of like screwed me, and the reason why I kind of got labeled as an emotional player very early on, is because after I got voted out of season 4, I'm such a dramatic ass bitch. I posted song lyrics to my Snapchat story and like was like being all sad on my Snapchat story for like maybe like a good 3 or 4 hours that night. So much so that like Cooper James texted me and was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, I'm fine. I'm like drawing in like my coloring book, listening to Billie Eilish, like sad songs. But yeah, so I think it hurt me a little bit more, but yeah, no, 4.5 really was like the basis of my interseasonal, stance.
Wow.
Seems
Wait,
to
what
be.
place did you get?
I
How
got
far?
5th.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Nice.
Mm.
It's nice. Like, 'cause also making it far, it meant like you had time to develop some of those relationships too. I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Dylan and I had a very close relationship in 4.5. Cooper and I got close really fast because Cooper saved me one week. Aaron and I worked together like all game, and then Aaron threw me to the wolves by telling me she was voting, or like there was like the betting mini game, and she told me to like bet a certain amount of money, and I was like, okay, you're also gonna bet this certain amount of money, right? She's like, yeah, everyone's doing it, and then I was the only one to do it, so I was like gonna be out that week, and I was like, oh well, fuck me, I guess, like, and then Cooper saved me, so it was great.
Yeah, listen to that 4.5 podcast. If you're listening to this and don't know what we're talking about, it's a very interesting game. It's on the Michigan channel somewhere.
Doesn't
That
Nick?
tidbit wasn't in the
were
podcast.
we ever friends? Were we like allies at all on 4.5? Were you? I feel like you were friends with Kat almost more than me. Is that a
We
thing?
were.
Yeah,
I was. But we were allies in what? 7.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were good allies in 7.5.
Well, spoilers.
Whoa, sorry.
7.5. What a trip.
That was a trip.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah. The pandemic games.
Yeah.
All right. The last one. Somebody has a compliment. It says, this isn't a question. This is just AJ destroyed the merge round, and that was really impressive statement because that floored me. Since flips like that rarely happen. Props to AJ for that.
Well, thank you.
Yay.
It felt really good at the time making it. I kind of like looking back. I kind of like if I knew that Nick wanted to work with me, I would have like wanted to do something there. But I was just so lucky, and I'm so happy that like something I did like had physical ramifications that I could see in the game and that weren't like being hidden from me. So I was like, this is something that I actually did. No one can take this away from me.
Yeah.
People did try to take it away from me very often, actually. But I held on to it that was mine. So I'm very proud of that moment. Very proud of the whole game in general.
Definitely. I mean, you had a lot of bucket list items. You won with individual immunity. You found an idol, shaved your head, got a tattoo, and had some blindsides and tie votes and flipped the merge and all that.
I mean, you literally like saved Lucy of your idol. I know how the entire Discord doesn't love you for that forever,
True.
Yeah, I did everything on my list except win and do the endurance comp. Those are the only 2 things that I wanted.
Next time.
Yeah.
I'll too. When you and Tom make it to the end.
That's gonna be my final 2. That's my bestie. That's my bestie from Jury Ponderosa.
He loves analogies too. We work together so well. I can just make analogies all day.
I know. Oh, that man.
Cool. Any other thoughts on the season or like things that weren't shown in the edit that you had like in the back of your mind? And anything you've like just throughout the season, you're like, oh, I have a thought on this and I need to get it out there.
I feel like the entire season I was kind of like writing things down that I wanted to say, especially like as I was getting like more and more frustrated. But at this point, since I've been voted out, like it's kind of just been like all peaches and cream with me, honestly. So I've, no hate, no animosity to anyone. Do be careful what you say on the internet because you never know who's reading and you never know what point of their lives that they're in, if they can receive that information or not. That's what I will say, just as general, especially as someone who, and I know I do it, here and there when I get drunk or get high and post something stupid, but I always try to be aware of like who's reading my shit and what I'm saying and if it could hurt someone, because I never want to hurt someone. And I think hearing the comments really made me just think like, oh my God, they're saying I'm this person that I never ever wanted to be in my life. So I was just like, it was like a nice little time to like reflect and like grow. And so thank you for the growth, but also chill out.
No, that's real. Honestly, I feel like it's so easy just to like the live chat. I feel like it's so opinionated sometimes. I actually get pissed off reading the live chat sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. And it's easy just to like type whatever, because like not thinking people are gonna see it, but like people do see these things.
Oh yeah, we're all
Yeah.
freaks. We all like to read about ourselves, regardless. We all like to read about ourselves, especially the negative stuff. So if you keep posting, we'll keep reading. That's the issue, you know.
I think that's just how, and that's the thing too about internet discourse is like negativity is like it more often than leave an impression, but it's also just like if people have something positive to say, it's like less likely that they're going to like type it out and like send it. I feel like if people have something negative or like very like they're just like gonna put it out there. It's just like that's how Twitter functions, you know. And
it's like Yelp reviews too.
Oh yeah.
Something's really bad, you're gonna say this was horrible. I hate this. Something's good, you're just kind of like, okay, that was nice, but you don't feel as like motivated to say something about it.
Right.
Yeah. Nice that they're all into it, but
yeah. I mean, go ahead, Jack.
I was just going to say, I feel like the only person from the season that's like actually checked out and isn't reading all the comments is Megan. So we got to just, I envy her that she's on an island, you know?
No, really. I text her here and there and I'm like, you have no clue what's going on, dude. And she's like, no, I love it. I wish I had the ability, but it's just like, it invests in your mind and you just want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something like sadly like ironic about that though, that like Megan would go through the ringer and through all the entire game and have all that, you know, hardship that she had, but like she isn't getting the kind of like catharsis afterward. I don't know. I also want to say like, sorry if it's been hard seeing some of the commentary, but at the end of the day though, I think that your game stands on its own. And it's like even pretty obvious, even like watching the episodes that like, for example, the merge vote, like that you were one that really did essentially flip that vote. Like, I think that some of these things too will age better because it's going to be on the internet forever. So
no. And like, I don't know, for me, I don't want it to come off as like, oh my God, all you people were like so mean to me. And, you know, now you have to apologize. No, it's just like, you know, you felt a way and you did a thing to validate, you know, the way that you felt. And it made me feel type of way. And that's okay too, because, you know, chances are you weren't really thinking about that. And I did a thing that made me feel better. And that's just kind of like, that's just life. You know, just a bunch of people like doing their best, trying to like deal with the feelings, the complex feelings that no one really like has the words to. You know, I don't want pity. I don't want like apologies. I don't want it to be like, oh, poor AJ. We have to like protect them. Apologies. You know, I like talking about my emotions, my experiences, and I'm kind of at the point in my life where I don't have time to like bullshit or like fake about it anymore. You know, I'm going to feel what I'm going to feel regardless of like who interjects at one point. And I like sharing that with people as long as it doesn't come to like the detriment of them.
Yeah. Well said. And you know how you're saying earlier that like, wow, I watched this version of myself that it feels like a different version of me or that I didn't like. It's like, I think that part of that's a very good thing because it means that you've grown since then. You know, if it was the same exact version of yourself as you were now, you probably wouldn't be feeling that way, you know? I think that just is on one hand, I like to have compassion and empathy for my past self. But on the other hand, it's like, well, if I cringe, that's probably a good thing because I wouldn't be cringing if I hadn't grown.
Yeah. Nah, bully that bitch. Bully your past selves and then you will change.
Love that.
Honestly, you were one of my favorite characters to watch. Like, I think I was like texting our chat. I was like, I really hope, because I forgot like when you went home. I was like, I really hope AJ doesn't go home this week because I thought all your confessionals were hilarious. Like, I'm not even kidding. I was dying at your confessionals. And like
Dang.
when you went all out on the scavenger hunt, I was like, respect. Like I would never
Oh.
shave my head.
All-time moment.
Yeah.
Listen, you know, I wasn't there to be the smartest. I wasn't there to be the strongest, but I was there for the airtime, indefinitely.
Oh, hell yeah.
You still have the tat?
Yeah, I have. 1 second. Ignore my shorts.
Whoa.
Still got the-
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I have a bunch of like mementos too. Like I have both of Jackson's fake idols. I still
Oh,
have
that's
my
amazing.
Tokidoki buff, my Pawnee buff, my Scallywags buff. I have a bunch. I have like some idol note. I took
Wow.
everything I could get my hands on. I love
so great.
little mementos.
Wait, do you still
Yeah.
have the idol that you found?
The fake one that Jackson gave me?
No, the real one from North Campus.
No, they never gave me it back.
Yeah.
Same with the fake idol that I had, which was a gift from my grandmother, by the way. So like
Wow.
the fact that I didn't get that back, kind of wild.
Aw.
Darlene or
But no, I'm joking. But yeah, no, I don't have any of the real idols. But my idol was cool. I don't think we ever got like a really good picture of it.
yeah.
Best one of the 4.
That's wait, another random question on Darlene. Did you what were her takes throughout the season? Like were you still in communication throughout the entire thing?
Oh yeah. We texted. I would text my grandmother every single day. So we would talk a lot about Survivor. Her constant opinion would be she did not like you. she really did not want me to be working with you. She detested. She like called the friend group out like way before than I ever like really did.
Yeah.
She wanted to be at the loved ones visit, but couldn't because she couldn't bribe my grandfather to drive her out to Ann Arbor. Not that would have changed anything because she like has like a bump. She had like a bum knee, and she like hated the outdoors. So like I don't think it would have changed anything. But
You should have told me. I would have given Darlene a ride. That would have been such great TV to have Darlene out there.
Yeah.
Honestly, it would have been a better watch back for me. I'll say that. No,
I'd
but
want to see just the
Darlene-
ride of Sam giving her a ride when she hates you, Sam. Like I want
That's true,
video
that's
footage
true.
of just that.
Oh my God,
I
that's
would
so
have played the
funny.
social game with Darlene
Yeah.
and made her, and then Darlene will say, no, Adam, you should stick with Sam. He's so nice.
He's such a sweet boy.
Such a nice young man.
No, then actually,
No.
but Darlene would see through it though. She'd be like, no,
she's
like
like-
trying to sweet talk me,
Yeah.
like he's even worse than I thought.
She would see through it and she'd be like, Sam, if you vote my boy out, I'm gonna put a foot right up your ass. She would say that word for word, and then she'd say I'd go gambling right after. I'd take her money and go gambling with it right after down the street. She was a fierce, little old lady. She 105 pounds, but she'd fucking curse out a sailor. Loved her.
Now, she left a big impression in just a little bit of the screen time that she had.
Yeah, my grandfather loves her fans. By the way,
Aw.
also like thank you to Ian for like doing that. That really meant a lot to like me and my family. Just like I don't know, being able to like see her again, like hear her voice, and she loved reality TV. She loved Big Brother, Survivor. Her favorite player was Frankie, but like we won't let that take down her status a little bit. But she was into all that stuff. She's one of the reasons why I like got into Survivor, like big time. So
Oh wow.
That's sweet.
Seems like she was like really, really amazing person. So I'm glad that she was able to have her moment on the season and have all these fans, across the country, across the world. I'm sure So yeah, that was really special.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this was amazing. I had a great
it's really
time.
fun.
Hope you had a good time too.
I did.
Love
We
talking.
talked for over an hour. Dang, guys. Look at us.
Nice. Really does. Yeah, great talking with you, AJ, and expect a finale drink.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Wait, you're coming to Vegas, right? I feel like I say
Yeah.
that in every video. I'll literally see you guys on Saturday.
I know. Oh my god.
Are you coming on Saturday? Or what
I'll be
day?
there Friday. So.
Oh, you're going to
You'll
get there
see
before
me.
me. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, me and Jack will be too busy
Yeah.
seeing fish to be there this weekend. So
Mhm.
Whatever. It's
Yeah.
fine.
What day are you going, Sam, to Vegas?
I'm going on like Monday.
Cool. Right after. I guess.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Wow. We'll see you on Saturday.
Yeah, see you then.